Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Hello, North Carolina, one of my favorite places. I'm thrilled to be talking to you today. We have a lot of people on the phone, a lot of people, they tell me, and you're going to make a very important decision on November 3rd, and it's a path toward our successful country or a not successful country. It's pretty simple when you get right down to it. There's never been a greater difference between two candidates, and this election is a choice between patriots who want to build our country up or radical extremist Democrats who want to tear it down, and that's exactly what they're doing. And now Sleepy Joe Biden goes out and picks Kamala Harris, who is considered the most liberal senator in the United States Senate, maybe by far. She's against your Second Amendment. She's against no fracking. That means energy. She wants to cut spending on the military and cut spending very drastically on the great job we've done for our vets with Veterans Choice and accountability, which everyone thought wouldn't happen. And just a terrible choice in terms of, I can tell you, I know North Carolina very well, and a terrible choice. I have a granddaughter who was just named Carolina, as you know, and I know it very well, and that's not what they're looking for with the Second Amendment and energy and all of the other things. Negative to farming also, and negative to a lot of different things that you represent. The far-left Democrats really almost show a scorn for our country. They hate the truth, and they hate the tremendous success that we've been having. Hard work. They want our flag put in a position that it should never be in. We have to stand proudly for our flag and our national anthem. If Joe Biden and the radical Democrats get into power, they will destroy our country. Our stock market will crash. As sure as you're sitting, standing, or at least listening, our stock market will crash. Your 401ks will go way down to very little. They're going to raise your taxes. They're going to take your taxes and raise them up to the sky, and they're going to raise regulations. And it's something that North Carolina doesn't want and our nation can't stand. We're fighting to save our nation. We'll never surrender or retreat to the radical left, socialists, or wherever they may take it. And with your help, we're going to win a tremendous election in November, to be exact, November 3rd. In North Carolina, you can request absentee ballots right now. Absentee ballots are great because you have to go and request them. They want to flood the market with ballots, and that's a disgrace. But absentee ballots are great. So make sure and watch that other people aren't cheating, because that's what they're looking to do. Absentee voting is a secure process that's initiated by the voter. You request it. And every voter is verified. Every vote is verified. It's the exact opposite of Democrats' voter fraud scheme. They want to mail ballots to every eligible voter all over the state. They have no idea where they're going, although they probably do have a pretty good idea when you get right down to it. And they want zero verification, not even a signature. You know what that spells? It spells trouble. I want to thank some of your great Republicans who are fighting right by my side. They're on the phone tonight. Senator Tom Tillis, who's a great guy, who's in there really with us, very strong, very hard. And he's not let me down. He's a great gentleman, and he loves your state. Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest, who fought for the convention. The governor, your governor, was so horribly strict that we had to we just had to do it out of respect for your state, but he really didn't want to have our convention in North Carolina and made it very, very difficult all the way, which is a shame because tremendous economic development money and tremendous other things. But the best way you can solve that problem is vote for Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest. He's fantastic. And, I mean, you're in a complete lockdown. If they look at what they're doing with North Carolina, it's locked down. You got to get your schools open. You got to get your state open. You got to get your businesses going. This governor has gone way, way too far, and it's not going to help. And you're fantastic members of Congress. You have Patrick McHenry, a friend of mine, one of the great names in politics. McHenry, can't do better. Patrick McHenry. Virginia Fox, who never stops and she never gives up. Richard Hudson, great guy. David Rouser, great guy. Ted Budd, Dan Bishop. Dan Bishop is so terrific, and Greg Murphy, they came in together. We gave a tremendous rally. We had a big, beautiful rally, and Ted Budd has been there with us right from the beginning. So we just have great people, and you're going to have somebody that's going to be their equal. We know it. Madison Cawthorn, a terrific young man. He'll be just about the youngest ever in the history because he just made the date, and he is an inspiration to everybody, including me. He's going to be one of the greats. He's going to go on to have an incredible career representing North Carolina and representing our country. Madison Cawthorn. Another great gentleman, Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. He comes right out of North Carolina, and I chose him, and he's been fantastic. We're fighting now Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, Crying Chuck, we call him, and Crazy Nancy, and there's a lot of truth to both of them. We're fighting them very hard and very strongly on getting money to the people during the pandemic, and we're doing a lot of things. We're stopping evictions. We're stopping really some very important items that they want. They want to do things that are very unfair with mail-in ballots, and they want to make sure that they're covered because it just is going to create a rigged election, in my opinion. And it has nothing to do with the coronavirus, if you call it that, the China virus, the coronavirus, many names. So I just want to thank Mark Meadows. He's done a fantastic job. He's a great congressman, and now he's a great chief of staff. He'll go down as one of the best ever. But no administration has ever done so much in the first 3.5 years as the Trump administration. We achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, young people without diplomas, with college education, and all levels of education. North Carolina unemployment was the lowest in many, many decades, and you had last year the best year in the history of North Carolina. It's a long and wonderful history, but you had your best employment and unemployment numbers in the history of your state. When the China virus invaded our country, we had no choice but to shut down our economy. We saved millions of lives by doing it, but we had to shut it down, and as we reopen, we've already gained 9 million jobs. It's a new record. Never been a number of jobs like that. And you look at it, it is turning out, I was right, it is turning out to be a V-shaped recovery. That's straight up. Wages have increased nearly 5%, and retail sales have gone to a record level. And this is during, hopefully, the more ending moments of the pandemic. So we have tremendous numbers, and that's why Wall Street's going through the roof. We're setting records on Wall Street already. NASDAQ has set the record, and if you look at the stock market and hence your 401ks, you take a look at what's going on. It's been incredible. We're ready to break every record, including records from previous to the pandemic. Congressional Democrats are blocking additional China virus relief and making absurd demands for blue state ballots, a ban on voter ID, which we want very much. We want voter ID. They don't want voter ID, and that can only be for bad reasons. Stimulus payments and work permits for illegal aliens. They want to have permits for illegal aliens. They want to have free lawyers for illegal aliens. They want to have open borders. They want to do things that are absolutely unthinkable. We're building the wall. We're up to 280 miles, and it's had a tremendous impact on illegal people coming into our country or people coming in illegally. And we're letting farmers get the folks that they've been dealing with for many years, that we're making sure that comes out and comes through so the farmers and tobacco growers and everybody else don't have problems. So we're taking very, very good care of that. But we don't want criminals coming into our country. We don't want illegals coming into our country. You have to come into our country legally, and we want people to come in through merit, the merit system. And we've done fantastically well on the border. The border is like a different place because of the large amount of wall. We'll have the wall completed by the end of the year. Then we may expand it a little bit after that, but it'll be largely completed by the end of the year. It's had a tremendous impact. But I refuse to let the Democrats hold America hostage, which is what they're trying to do. And that's why I took executive action to freeze evictions, provide an extra $400 per week in additional unemployment benefits, suspend payments and interest on student loans, and create a payroll tax holiday, which is a big thing, payroll tax holiday. That's a big, and what we're doing is sometime after the election, if we win, we're going to make that permanent, the payroll tax holiday. The payroll tax will be rescinded. So we have a tremendous amount of things that we're doing and can do. Under my administration, China will be held fully accountable for all of its lies and deceit. America is winning the war against the virus. 3 vaccine candidates are in the final phases of clinical trials. That's taking place right now, which is years ahead of schedule. If you went back to the last administration, or frankly, any administration, you would be years away from where we are. We're very close to getting approvals, and that has to do also with therapeutics. So we expect to have all of this done very soon, and we expect to have it brought around through our military, logistically, through our great military that you know just about better than any state. You have a big military presence. And again, Kamala wants military cut way down and doesn't believe in the vets. It's rather incredible. Through the Paycheck Protection Program, we provided more than $12 billion to over 125,000 small businesses in your state, saving 1.3 million North Carolina jobs, 1.3 million jobs we saved. We've also delivered more than $8 billion in economic impact payments straight to North Carolina families. And now we're I just approved more. And the Democrats, what they want is something much different than that. They want to be able to bail out badly run Democrat cities and states, like the ones you watch on television every night, Chicago and Portland and other places that are doing so poorly and are just poorly run. We're restoring law and order to Democrat-run cities that allowed rioters to go wild. We're surging federal law enforcement to stop violent crime. The FBI has opened 300 domestic terror investigations, and we're defending our national monuments. Anyone who defaces our statues or monuments will get 10 years in prison. And once we did that, I signed it 2.5 months ago. Nobody plays with our statues. Nobody plays with our monuments. It's amazing the way that works. 10 years in prison if they do. We're providing $400 million to hire hundreds of new police officers around the country, and we will never defund the police. We will help the police, and we have almost unanimous, getting very close to unanimous support from law enforcement, which, frankly, with what Joe Biden thinks and the philosophy on the radical left, you can understand why we'd have that kind of support. And by contrast, Biden would flood our neighborhoods with dangerous criminals. That's what will happen. By abolishing cash bail, he'll also support sanctuary cities. Last year, sanctuary cities in North Carolina released more than 500 criminal aliens, thanks to your governor, charged or convicted of heinous crimes, including rape and murder. Think of it, in North Carolina. Think of it. It's not even believable. Under Biden, your state would be crawling with thousands of vile, illegal alien predators, and we're not going to let it happen. Never happen under us. It'll go just the opposite. We're protecting North Carolina farmers and manufacturers from unfair trade. When China targeted our farmers, we provided $28 billion in relief. We got it from China with tariffs on China, and they paid for it. We didn't pay for it. They paid for it. We officially replaced a disaster known as NAFTA with a brand new USMCA, opening incredible new opportunities for North Carolina, aircraft and medicines and pork and all incredible work for the farmers. Our farmers are thrilled, and our farmers, because of the 12 million and then 16 each year, 12 billion and then 16 billion dollars, our farmers are in great shape. If I didn't do that with the target that China put on our farmers, we wouldn't have any farmers. And now they're doing great. Business is booming, and frankly, we had the largest corn order last week in the history of corn orders. That came from China because they want to make sure that we're happy. But you can never be thrilled. You can never be happy. It's not acceptable at all, not acceptable with what happened with the virus. So I view the deal differently. The USMCA deal was incredible, however. We're bringing vital medical supply chains back to American soil. I recently signed an executive order requiring government agencies to purchase essential medicines from American sources, and I'm bringing down the price of prescription drugs at a level that nobody's ever seen. When you see a commercial where drug companies are taking commercials against your president, President Trump, that's me. The only reason they're fighting me is because I instituted very strong reforms. I just signed them 2 weeks ago, where you have a favored nations clause. So if other nations, which as you know, everybody knows, they get much lower prices on drugs than we do, much, so that other nations will we will get the same price. If Germany's paying 10 cents a pill made in the same factory, same box, same everything, and we're paying $2 or $2.50 a pill, as an example, we would get it for the same price as them. And the drug companies are spending millions of dollars taking ads about me. And just remember, every time you see an ad about drugs and drug companies paying for it, that means one thing. It means that your drug prices are coming down at a level that nobody ever thought possible. And last year, drug prices came down. First time in 51 years that they came down, but now we're bringing them down at a level that nobody thought possible, including getting a rebate, which is going to go to the people and going to the price reduction, which nobody, again, would have ever even asked for. So I'm the first president, if you remember, to lower the drug prices in 51 years. We've invested more than $2.5 trillion in our great military, which goes to a large extent to the people in North Carolina, because that's a big military state and a great military state. Defense spending in North Carolina soared by more than $1 billion per year, and we're taking care of our military. And yet, you look at Biden and you look at his new partner, Kamala Harris, they want to bring spending for the military way down, bring veteran spending way down, and so many other things. And bring law enforcement way down. We now have over 7,200, and I guess we'll be at very close to over 280 miles to be exact. I'll get back to you with the exact number, but we're approaching that 300. And our military has helped. The Army Corps of Engineers has helped us build that great wall that I was talking about. We passed Veterans Choice and Veterans Accountability, and we fired more than 8,000 employees who were not giving our vets the care they deserve. That was under accountability. They've been trying to get it passed for 50 years. And if they don't treat our great vets proper, and you have many, they don't treat them properly, and you have many cases where that took place, but they couldn't do anything about it. Now they can. The VA has just gotten 91% approval rating from the veterans. So they have Veterans Choice, where if they don't get good service, they go out, they get a private doctor, we pay the bill, and they get taken care of. And actually, as hard as it is to even conceive, it's not only great for the veterans, it costs us, we save money. We end up saving money, but more importantly, we take care of our veterans. We're working with governors to safely reopen our schools in the fall. We have to do that. We also want to reopen. We want to get our football teams going. You know that. I'm also fighting for school choice. Every parent should be able to send their child to the public, private, charter, religious, or independent school of their choice. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history. We're saving the average family of four over $5,000 per year just in what we've done. If you look at the Obama administration and go before that, the Bush administration, it was literally nothing compared to what we've done. We've ended the war on American energy, and we're now a net exporter of energy, and the average price of gasoline is $2 and even a little bit below $2 a gallon, something you haven't never thought possible. And yet we have a vibrant energy sector, vibrant like you haven't seen, and we actually saved that a second time a few months ago when I got on the call with President Putin of Russia, the King of Saudi Arabia, and got them to cut oil production substantially, which saved our energy industry and saved theirs also. So I was able to get that done, and I'm very, very proud of that. We've been given great marks on being able to do that. So we have a great and vibrant energy industry, and you have very low gasoline prices, and it's been stable ever since I've been president. If I thought they were going up, I'd call Saudi Arabia. I'd call whoever I have to call and say, you got to produce more. And we've done a job. Biden is a train wreck in so many senses, but that he signed a joint manifesto with, and that's what it is. It's a manifesto with Bernie Sanders, which means that Biden is now running as the most extreme left-wing candidate in the history of our country. He's been totally taken over by the left. I don't even think he knows it. Biden's vowed to defund the police and take away your guns. In Biden's America, you and your family will not be safe, and you know that. Biden believes that all black Americans think alike. He said, unlike the African-American community and other communities, they said, are incredibly diverse. He said, other communities are incredibly diverse. One of the worst, nastiest statements. I don't know if he apologized. I don't know if he'd know how to apologize. It's a terrible thing with incredibly different attitudes about different things, he said. So Joe is not even worthy of the vote. Biden supported every globalist attack on American workers, NAFTA, TPP, South Korea, the horrible trade deal, and China's terrible entry into the World Trade Organization. That's probably the worst trade deal of them all. That's what built China. That's how China got to be where they are, other than the fact that the trade deals they made before I came along were so bad, embarrassingly bad. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they took out of the United States. America lost nearly 10,000 factories while Biden was vice president. He voted for the war in Iraq, which was a disaster, and he voted for mass amnesty. And now Joe Biden wants to raise your taxes by 3 times and even 4 times, pack the courts with radical far-left judges, destroy your stock market, destroy your 401ks, indoctrinate your children with the horrible things they're learning in school, wants to open borders, and he wants to actually rip down the wall, which is saving us tremendous problems. Some of the key elements in the manifesto very openly stated abolish borders. He wants to abolish borders. Think of that. Stop all deportations. End prosecution of illegal border crosses. Support sanctuary cities. Incentivize illegal alien child smuggling. Provide taxpayer-funded lawyers for illegal aliens. So you come in illegally and they give you a taxpayer-funded lawyer. That sounds nice. Provide government health care for illegal aliens. Free community college for illegal aliens. Free college. They don't give that to people that have been citizens of our country, much of this stuff. End all travel bans, including from jihadist regions. So end all travel bans. I got a travel ban so that the right people would be allowed into our country. We want people to come into our country legally, not illegally. But he wants to end all travel bans, including from jihadist regions. Grant amnesty, mass amnesty. End cash bail, releasing dangerous criminals onto the street. Increase refugee admissions by listen to this, 700% incentivize prison closures. He wants prisons closed and provide free federal housing for former inmates. This is all Bernie Sanders, but more than Bernie Sanders was ever asking for. They want to mandate net zero carbon emissions for homes and offices. All new buildings and power plants, electric bills would skyrocket, while China would keep polluting the air and doing things for a lot less money than we would because of the tremendous cost associated with that. They want to end school choice and abolish charter school. All charter schools end. And they want to eliminate single-family zoning. They want to put low-income housing in the suburbs. And that would essentially that would ruin the suburbs. But it's already started. This has been going on for years. And now Biden wants to put Cory Booker, of all people, Cory Booker in charge. So I've terminated the program entirely. People couldn't believe I did it, but I did it. Because the suburbs are the American dream. And by the way, we have many minorities living in the suburbs. They don't want it to happen either. Many minorities. They live in the suburbs. They don't want it to happen. And I was very honored to do it, but nobody else would have done it. This is where you have a fantastic, wonderful area, beautiful neighborhood, and they come along and demand that low-income housing be built right in the middle of it, and just terrible things happen, from lower prices for your home to just incredible crime statistics. You take a look. With your help, we'll defeat Biden and the radical Democrats. We'll fight every day to pass an ambitious agenda that always puts America first. We'll unleash the full power of the American economy. That's already happening. You see it happening again. We did the right thing. We saved millions of lives. Now we're opening and we're doing great. They want to keep it closed as long as possible. You look at the blue states like yours, where you have a sort of a blue state governor. I think yours is a red state. You want to know the truth, but you do have a Democrat governor, and they want to keep it. They want to keep it closed. They want to keep it closed probably on November 4th, the day after the election. They'll announce they're opening it. They want the economy to look as bad as it can possibly look, but it's not working for them because we're setting records anyway. We created an unprecedented economic miracle once, and now we're doing that again. We'll shut down illegal immigration. We're going to finish the wall. I told you by the end of the year. We'll be tough on China. We'll be bringing medical manufacturing and critical supply chains back to America. Much of it will go to North Carolina, and it will put us in a position where we don't have to be dependent on foreign producers. We'll root out anti-American bias in our public schools and colleges. We will end big tech's assault on free speech. We'll defend our God-given right to bear arms. We want the right to a Second Amendment. That's a great Second Amendment. I protected it now for 3.5 years, unyieldingly. But they want to either end it or amend it to a level that you wouldn't recognize it. We will support the heroes of law enforcement. We will defund sanctuary cities. We don't want sanctuary cities. We will create an immigration system based on merit, and that will be based on merit, where people come in that help our country. We'll bring our troops home from Afghanistan and all of these other places. As you know, we took out Soleimani and we took out al-Baghdadi, and I gained 100% of the ISIS caliphate in Syria. But we're bringing our troops back home. We've already brought most of them back home. We're down to very small numbers in the Middle East. But we've had great victories against ISIS. 100% of the ISIS caliphate, and when we took it over, it was a disaster all over the place. We'll drain the Washington swamp, and we'll make America greater than ever before. So I just want to thank the people of North Carolina. You're fantastic people. I want to thank everybody on the phone, and it is, as I said, very large numbers. And I want you to remember, get out and vote on November 3rd. You have to get out and vote. This election is so critical. It's a difference between our country going in a direction that will destroy our country or our country being greater than it's ever been. And it will be, in fact, greater than it's ever been. It's going to have an incredible next year. So thank you all very much for being on the phone. It's a great honor to talk to my friends from North Carolina. We will never let you down. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the event has ended. If you'd like to support the president to make America great again, press 1 now to let him know he can count on your support. The liberal media is a 24-hour attack dog for the socialist working to defeat the president. If he can count on you to donate just a few dollars to help get the truth to the American people, press 2 now. The silent majority needs to speak up on Election Day. Join our team now as a Trump team leader by pressing 3 to help get our message out to your neighbors. Finally, the president needs everyone on this call to text Trump to 88022. Thank you, and God bless America.